here. Wait, where's Devin? He was here. He was just here. Okay, and then Tannen Bodell and Taylor Frampton. Woohoo! Congratulations to our cappers from February. Okay, birthdays. This week we have Carla Maxfield. That's today. And then tomorrow there's 4 birthdays. That's so funny. Jordan, Sam, Bert, and another Sam. And then, yeah, you can text these people if you know them. Send them a quick text. Trent and Brooke have a birthday on the 18th and Brody on the 20th. So happy birthday, you guys. All right. ALC announcements. Any ALC members that have anything they want to say besides Susie? We'll hit that up next. It's next on the slides. Okay. All right. Here we go. Susie Clyde, do you want to come up?
Sure. I mean, you've got all the information. This is literally just a save the date for our summer client appreciation. So
yes,
pull out your calendars, put June 7th and June 9th. You get to pick what day you're going to do it. We won't be as crazy as last year. If you all were there, raise your hand if you were there last year. It was like a packed house. KW packs the house.
Bikini. Yes.
Right? Oh, in the bikini?
Yeah.
Talina's wearing a bikini this year.
I'm going to start working out right now. Okay. So you pick June 7th or June 9th. So you're looking in your calendars to see what day works best for you. It's from 4 to 9. It's exclusively KW. We have it rented out those 2 nights. So be looking for an email. We will send out an email. You respond to me of how many you want. They're $6 each.
First come, first serve.
We are capping it at $5,000 each night. I'm $5,000. 5,000 wristbands.
Okay, capacity. What's the capacity of the park? Last
10.
year we had 9,000 show up, right?
Yeah.
So if we have 5,000 is what we're capped at, and if 4,000 show up, because not everyone's gonna show up, it'll be perfect.
Be perfect.
That's perfect.
So be looking for an email. So be looking at your calendar to decide what date works best for you. So when that email comes, you can hurry and respond, because once it's full, it's full.
So that's a Tuesday and a Thursday.
Okay. Anybody have any questions about that? It's a Splash Summit, the old Seven Peaks. It's literally like my kid's favorite place to go in the summer. Your clients will absolutely love this event. It is the most popular event of the year.
And we will talk more about it in upcoming team meetings, but this is just save the date and start planning for it.
Okay.
Budget for it, plan for it.
Okay. Thanks, Susie. Okay, let's see what's next. Oh, by the way, let's go back a couple slides because Devin's here. Congratulations, Devin. Come pick up your cap. He's one of our KW cappers for February. So congratulations to you and Denise. Okay. All right. Julie, come on up. You want to talk about this? No. Oh, okay. So that's okay. This is Agents of Distinction certification. So you can register right there. This is unlimited access to online trainings to, if you guys remember Julie talking about what's the name of your Equity and Diversity is the official name that she's over for ALC. So this is trainings on that and how to, like in your email signature, business cards, how to the Agent of Distinction social group for referrals and community partnerships, ongoing content to share to your channels and educate your audience on social equity. Julie does such a good job of this in our office and getting everybody involved in this. So March, end of this month. Okay, we'll get a more specific date and time on this. Okay, Mega Camp's coming up. Raise your hand if you've ever been to Mega Camp. It's in August. Cameron, Dean, Carl, yep. Okay, Novely. So it is end of August. I know that seems like a long ways away, but that will sneak up. It's right when school starts back again in the fall. Early bird tickets are now on sale. Woo, March Madness. Don't worry, we won't be throwing any candy. Okay, every Tuesday in March. Is Angie here? Angie's been doing this with Jason Cook. They've been doing script offs every Tuesday morning. It was there was quite a few people here this morning. Exciting prizes await. So every Tuesday in March. This is the same thing, 10:30. You can scan that and register. Okay. All right, we're going to go with our listings. Woohoo. Okay, Clay Winder. 98,000 in, go back up. Where was that at? Indianola. Clay, anyone? Okay. All right. Oh, these are all the same ones. This is Scott Rozier. This is in Harriman. Ryan Johnson. These are the these are different ones. Condos in Heber. These are in Heber. 389.9 in Heber. Angie Fisher. This is in Salem. 399.9. Cute house. Hannah Bagley. Is Hannah here? Oh, this is in Mapleton. I love Mapleton. 430. That's awesome. Almost under contract. I saw Sally here. Oh, we missed the boat on that one. It is under contract. That's okay. Don't tell Dean. Becca Summers. This is in Mapleton. 550. Looks like a lot. Cody. Is Cody here? Cody. Okay, this is in Springville. 564.9. The cute house. Ashley Jensen. This is, of course, Provo. 699. That looks like a cool house. Historic house. And Hayden Hewlett. Clay Winder. This is in Mapleton. 1.299. Clay, same thing. I think is this Mapleton. Oh, this one's Lakeshore. Camille Ryan. This is Lakeshore, which is kind of by Spanish Fork. Oh, another Mapleton, Hayden and Clay. If you're looking at Mapleton, another one, two more. Oh, this one's Spanish Fork. So all down south, Spanish Fork and Mapleton. Okay. Awesome. Good job, you guys. Those are awesome listings. Okay. Nice job. Congratulations. All right. Dean Crandall, come on up.
Wow. Which one?
That haircut looks good.
All right. So I've got three really quick things to talk to you about. But the first one, this was just a fun one I saw. Real estate agent shows my house even though it wasn't for sale. Is there a problem here? You know, don't be showing people's houses that aren't for sale. What happened is it was supposed to be the next door neighbor's house. The neighbor said, oh yeah, it's this next door and the back door should be open. And that was in the showing instructions as well. Agent actually went in, they showed the house and all that, but the folks were on camera and on video the whole time because they had a security system throughout the house.
That's awkward.
No, the buyer actually indicated they weren't interested in this particular house. The guard dog was very nice and was licking them to death. So,
and
anyway,
I love that they made a TikTok out of it.
Yeah. And
What
no,
the
the
heck?
seller actually did TikTok. She did something like a 3-part series and she changed her name. What is it? Honey is my guard dog. I believe she changed her name to it.
That's funny.
So anyway, so really quick, this was something that was brought up earlier. Julie, you can jump in if you want. Talk a little bit about diversity. So the first question for you, who here is part of a protected class? I should see every hand go up, right? All of us are part of a protected class because you might be married, you might not be. You may have a family, you may not. You might be older than 60. Some
Not
of us
Dean.
are. Yeah. Does that make sense? Everybody's actually part of a protected class. And so be careful. We're all protected and so are our clients. And so just want to wrap your head around diversity a little bit. Everybody's part of a protected class. And you have to think of it that way. And so we're not going to play favorites. We're simply going to serve, how about everyone? Anyway, be open. And then this was an interesting question. This is part of a training. I was at the Region 11 meetings last week. And so this came up in their diversity question. How many put key boxes on gas meters? Because I do. What if though, I've seen one of our agents, we've had several agents running around those little scooters. How convenient is it for you to get there if you have an injury or if you have a physical challenge, being able to get to the gas meter? So they're saying, at least think about it, you know, and Because in our business, I've always put on the gas meters because it's the most secure place I can put it. I could put it on a banister, but something can break the banisters, especially those vinyl ones. So anyway, because those key boxes are so cool, everybody has to have one. All right. This was a fun question that came up. How would you feel if your client didn't get the home because you are part of a minority? You might be a woman, you might be a man, you might be, gosh, you could be green. There was literally one of the presenters in the meeting, African-American woman, beautiful woman. And she said, it was really hard. Walked over the door. The seller happened to be there, opened the door and said, your clients can come through. I'll show them the house. You're not allowed in my house. Clients looked at the guy and said, we've made our decision. We have no interest in your house. And they walked off the porch with their agent. But the bottom line is there are some folks that have some bigoted attitudes, and there's discrimination. I would say be discriminating, in who you work with. If someone tells you, hey, I don't want to sell that home to, someone who's Polynesian, you know what? You might not want to have them as a client, but just saying. Anyway, it's our job to know all of the different ways to get somebody into a house appropriately, please. All right. And help your clients know how to, keep their credit healthy. That's just something else. They've said that sometimes ethnic minorities have a tendency to struggle with credit issues. And there's been track records, redlining, and other things that have happened that have hurt particular minorities throughout history. And so we just want to make sure that we're as inclusive as we can. Anyway, last topic. I'm sorry. There are NAR and KW courses. The At Home with Diversity course is actually kind of fun. I took that. And again, we talked about the Keller Williams courses that are available and showing up. And we have a lot of work to do. Last thing, just wanted to share very briefly, competition in real estate. There is an actual website on the slide. When you get those sent to you, there's a link that you can jump on NAR's website and show folks how we are able to actually increase competition, get sellers the best price, help buyers negotiate in this crazy, crazy market. One of the tools we have, of course, is the MLS. We think about that all the time. It is the marketplace. If I want to put my listings in front of the widest audience, I'm going to put it on the MLS. There are more people that will see it there than any other place. I know KSL is good, but they don't have 7 million uniques a year. We do. Anyway, that's all I got.
Okay. Our mortgage moment here.
Right before them, I
hold on.
forgot to put my slide in. So I'm going to, while they're coming up, I have a comment really quick. So you hear a lot, if you read the MREA, if something is not working as well as you want it to, or you're not accomplishing your goals, or you're overwhelmed, you are missing a person, a system, or a tool. So Jason asked me the other day, what is our system for referrals? And our system for referrals has been broken for quite some time. Our system is a spreadsheet where if you tell me a referral is coming in, I write down what little information you give me. And then when a referral check comes in, I pray that your information is on that spreadsheet, or I hope your name is on the check, which is usually unlikely. And anyway, we try and match you up. So I have a stack probably of 20 checks in my referral folder, some dating back 6 months that I've been unable to pay. So my system is broken. I have a new system. Thank you, Devin. He brought this form out to me the other day and says, Noble, you have an incoming referral. And here's this form so that when the check comes in, you will know who the check goes to. Well, duh. So from now on, when you send a referral, can you please send me this form? And then when the check comes in, I'll know who to pay. Doesn't that seem to make so much sense? Thank you, Devin. He's an accountant. We have kindred spirits. Anyway, can you do that for me?
Where do they find the form?
It's this form. The front, this is the referral form. So you have to send this to the people in order to get the referral. So just also send it to me. Because yeah, it's on the website. This is just your referral agreement. You have to send it to them and they have to sign it. So just also send it to me. Yep. Only if they want to get paid. I figured this one, have to do for someone else, so they wouldn't also mind sending it to me.
Yeah,
So
just
any questions on
BTC.
that? Yeah, you're right. I'll let you know.
Thank you. Thanks, Nobley. First Colony Mortgage.
What has happened to rates in the last couple of days? Yeah. So I did a little bit of researching this morning. Since January 3rd, we've gone up over 1% as of this morning. Okay, what does that do for buying power? It shrinks people's buying power. So hopefully if you have a contract or under contract, they're already locked. But if you have a pre-approval out there, make sure you're reaching out to your lenders and redoing that pre-approval with updated pay stubs based off the new interest rates. Because if someone was maxed out 3 months ago, their max pre-approval is going to be lower now because of that interest rate hike. So make sure you're touching base. If you've got someone that's been looking for 6 months and they can't find a house, they need to get pre-approved. I would say even within the last 30 days, if they were maxed out, make sure you touch base with the lender and run on current rates. March Madness, we're running our own bracket. There's no entry fee. First place winner is $1,000.
Woo!
So if you want to be added to that group, come see one of the First Colony people, myself, and we will add you and send you the email on how to sign up through ESPN. $1,000 first place, $750 second place, and $500 third place.
Ooh.
Okay. Anybody. Right, anybody. Usually it's people like Talima who pick off the colors of the uniforms.
Hey,
Okay.
I know sports. Okay.
Thank you.
Okay. Thank you so much. Okay. Our lunch sponsor, come on up. Are you here, David? Okay, come up, David. Everybody give David a hand. He brought lunch for everybody. Woo! Yeah, no worries. No worries.
Sandwiches are definitely coming, but the rest of the food is out there. So nice and cool. Wow. I'm Dave Kiesler with APRO Home Inspection Services. We're a franchise. There's about thousands of home inspectors that work for APRO, and they've done thousands of home inspections. APRO was franchised out in 1994. I bought the franchise 3.5 years ago here in the Utah area. There is another APRO up in Salt Lake. Don't call him, call me. So I'm just going to talk a little bit about what our services are. One of the things, of course, we do is buyer's inspections. Why do we do buyer's inspections? To give them peace of mind. I've been in the construction business since, I'm not going to reveal my age, but since 1973. The first license I had was in 1973. So I've been doing it a long time. That shows you my age. Okay, we also do seller's inspections. A lot of agents don't want a seller's inspection because they don't want to have to disclose. But I've got a brochure back there or a little paper that tells you a little bit about it. It mimics standard home inspections for a buyer, but it gives the seller the opportunity to know what's wrong with their home so that it's less hassle in the end. We've actually had people that say that by doing that home inspection, they've been able to get more money for their home because they fixed the things that were major. There are a lot of little nitpicky things that or go into an inspection report. They're not all necessary to be done, but they're necessary for that homeowner in the future to take care of those little tiny needs. A lot of people say that my house is probably perfect. It's not. It's like a plumber's home. Plumbing needs fixed, all that stuff. But at any rate, another service we provide is a warranty inspection. We do a lot of new construction inspections, and then we do four-ways. We do final new construction, and then we provide a service to do an 11-month inspection. And we do quite a few of those because people discover problems with their home, and they think there are more and more problems, and usually there are. No home is perfect. And I was a general contractor in the late 70s. I've been a commercial general contractor. I worked for very large companies. I worked for Layton Construction. I work for Barton Mallow, who's the 28th largest general contractor in the United States. So I've got a lot of experience in all realms. We do commercial inspections also. Annual maintenance inspections. We have a lot of older couples that call us and want us to do annual inspections so that they can budget for repairs that are needed in their home. And then, of course, we do verification inspections, roof inspections, foundation inspections. We're one of only 2 inspectors in the state of Utah that do a foundation survey around the interior perimeter of the home when we're done with our inspection to make sure the home is not tilting, sinking, or whatever. Found a lot of homes that the worst was 6 inches sinking, and you couldn't tell that without that level. And it was because they had a water leak underneath it, and that foundation just kept sinking. So we do a lot of those kind of inspections. Some of the services we provide, is kind of interesting. Yesterday, I went and did a mold inspection for a guy that had somebody else do the home inspection, who had somebody else there doing the plumbing inspection. And I thought that was kind of unique. I've never seen that before. We're all in. We do it all. We also provide mold inspections. We do meth testing. I'm just putting on our table lead paint testing because you'll find very few people in Utah that do that. We'll do invasive. So it'll take a letter signed by the owner that will allow us to dig a piece of sheetrock out of a wall in a closet and a piece of trim outside to be able to do a laboratory test instead of the little swabs that are useless. Home inspectors are really not allowed to use those little swabs. Those are for homeowners to do. So we do thermal imaging, but we do not sell thermal imaging. We only do thermal imaging for our benefit to help determine if there's insulation issues, needs, mold, or moisture in the house. If somebody asks me if I'll do a thermal imaging, I will. I sell it for $175 because most people can't read it. How many of you in this room can read a thermal image and know what it's saying? Yeah, about what I thought. Most homeowners are the same way. So it's a sale that is a gimmick, in my opinion, but it's a good tool if we're using it as a tool and not a gimmick. We also do sewer scopes. I was doing a home inspection the other day, and the guy had asked me to do a sewer scope for him. And then he canceled the sewer scope while we were doing the inspection. Somebody else came in and did the sewer scope, which is kind of unique. He must have been a little better priced than I am. We also fly drones. If we need to fly the drone, if the building's too high, or if it's slippery, dangerous problems, we'll fly a drone. When we use a Mavic 2. Anybody familiar with the Mavic 2? The Mavic 2 has a zoom lens, so we can fly right up to something and zoom in on it and get a picture of it pretty detailed. And it's got a high resolution camera. So all of you know Becca Summers, right? So we do quite a bit of work for Becca. She wrote this one time, and I kind of pilfered it from her. So I'm gonna go back to the pre-certified homes for just a minute. Becca says it mimics a home inspection, but the report is for the seller. Allows the seller to know what needs to be repaired, systematically and effectively take care of issues without the pressures of a pending deadline, and reduces the renegotiation due to needed repairs. So that's coming from an agent, not somebody that believes that you're going to have to put it all on the disclosure. You know, like I get asked a lot of times, do I want you to send me the disclosure? I'll always say yeah, but I usually don't even open it and look at it till I'm done with my inspection because I don't want to have a preconceived idea. Have any of you ever used us in this room? Okay.
Nice.
I meant to bring my report in. Our report, we bind our report if somebody asks for us to bind it in a leather cover. We don't do that since COVID, except for a few realtors that ask for it. Our reports are detailed out to, we have a summary at the very beginning. Most inspectors, the summary's at the end. Ours is at the very beginning. I get asked often to tell the realtor what are the most important things. The overview are the most important things. So there may be 3 pages, and our pages are kind of, we're 12 font at the beginning. So it kind of covers a lot of area. But we talk about the things that are life safety. We talk about the things that are improvements that are needed or major concerns. We don't use the word material default or defect. We can. We're not code inspectors, although I'm qualified to be a code inspector. I just haven't taken the test, nor do I want to take that test. So at any rate, we're here to serve and help you guys. Any questions?
Awesome.
Awesome.
Any
Let's give
questions for
a hand.
David? Okay, awesome. Give David a hand. Thank you, David. Woo! Okay, we are. Oh, sure.
I don't need the mic. I think I'm moving. I have some memorabilia, or I should say memorabilia. Swag. Trinkets or whatever. Backyard's back. If anybody wants anything, just come get it.
Awesome. Thanks, David. We love swag, and thanks for lunch. Okay, we're going to turn the time over to Shoni. Give it up for
Awesome.
Shoni.
Okay, we're going to start this off. Let me turn this up really quick. All right, we're going to start this off with some competition. So I need everybody to stand up really quick. I'll come help me out. Everybody stand up, and I want you to find somebody next to you. And you're going to challenge them to a duel. Okay. There is a prize on the line. Who in this room is super competitive? Susie, do not raise your hand. Sid? Riley? Got a few of you? This is the duel. Well, let's see how you can do it this one. So what you're going to do, here's the rules of engagement, okay? We're playing rock, paper, scissors. Now, I'm going to just go ahead and model this. If these two individuals are playing each other, the winner, okay, ends up recruiting the loser to cheer for them to go beat the next winner, okay? We're going to find, this is bracket style, we're going to get to the top 2 rock, paper, scissors winners in this room, and they're going to challenge at the front of the room. And there is a prize on the line, okay? Losers, you have to cheer on the winners, okay? So let's go ahead and do first round. It's one, you've got one chance. It's not best 2 out of 3. It's one chance, okay? So rock, paper, scissors, let's go. You've got to cheer her on. You've got to go cheer her on.
I don't want to go on. Play tomorrow. I have to do tomorrow? Yeah, why not?
Who's the winner? Attack him! Who are we attacking?
Front, come up here to the front. Caton and Dennis. Caton and Dennis. Hey, Carl Spencer. Hold on. We're changing the rules.
Okay.
We're changing the rules. You two come up to the front and bring your teams with you. Dennis, Caton, come up to the front. Really quick. Yeah. we're having, it is best. Are you still in it? Okay, you two are coming to the front. It's best 2 out of 3 for this championship round. Dennis, come on up.
I know you're gonna do it again.
Oh, because we didn't realize that was the last one, so now we need to reclimax that, you know?
Well, what happens if I win?
Well, we're doing 2 out of 3.
We'll say that she's got one on the books right now.
She's got one on the books.
She's got one on the books. Okay, let's see it. Come on, come on. Oh! Oh! Here it is.
One more.
One more. Oh, there we go. There we go. Awesome. Go to Novalie's office after team meeting. She's got a gift for you. Okay. Awesome.
It's one of those checks they're waiting on.
Yes. Grab a mic. Orange, I believe.
Yeah, I think.
Sweet. Awesome. Good. Thank you. Okay. That was me whistling. I'm pretty good at it. Sweet. So, hey, today we're going to go through, and some of these slides we're going to skip through because we got a ton. But what I challenge you to do is go back. We're going to share this whole presentation with you so you can use this with your clients. But really, this is in support of you being able to be a master of your craft. And I also want to open it up. If you have something interesting you want to say about a specific stat, feel free to share it. We'll pass around the mic. But beforehand, I want to speak specifically to the importance of information. And here's an interesting quote. Information is the oil of the 21st century, and analytics is the combustion engine. Okay. And with that, the consumer data will be the biggest differentiator in the next 2 to 3 years. Whoever unlocks the reams of data and uses it strategically will win. I'll tell you that is speaking specifically to our industry. Okay. So you have to be aware of what's happening, what's shifting, so you can properly educate your clients. One of the lines that I consistently use with my clients is I say that, hey, I want to really inform you with data that matters so that you can make an educated decision in this market. And helping them to understand, especially if they're an investor, if they're a first-time buyer, if they're listing their home, all of them have different data pieces that you should be pointing out and helping them to be aware of. So the way we're going to do this is we're going to start with the national scale, and then we're going to transition it to Utah specific. Okay. And these slides, a lot of them came from Family Reunion, from the vision speech. The slides are available. We sent them out last week. And so you can go back to Facebook and be able to download those slides to be able to share. So let's look at a few factors. To start with, home sales. Now this is interesting. If you'll see these 2 separate columns here, this is at the height right before the crash in 2008, and there was a 5-year run where there's 28.2 million homes sold in that time period. And as you can see, we're actually about to meet that this year. If we do stay on track with the projected numbers of 5.9 million homes sold this year, then we will actually match the greatest time in Utah or in US real estate history. Okay, which is interesting. What happened the last time? Now we have different economic factors, right? So like the fundamentals of the real estate game are different compared to 2008. So that's what we have to be mindful of, especially with how many of you have heard a client say, I'm not going to buy right, or I'm going to wait till the market crashes. Who's heard that? Okay. Whose job is it to properly inform them about what our current market is showing? It's our job, right? And so we have to show them that the data is not showing that right now. Home prices. So here's something interesting. This yellow line is the long-term average. So over the last 30 years, the trend line of a 4% appreciation rate. Okay. It shows where the market should be at a 4% appreciation scale. Now, we were above that trend line for 5 to 7 years before there was a correction. How many years in this current cycle have we been above that trend line? We're just barely getting above that line, right? So 1 year over that trend line. And then obviously with this year, the way things are headed, it looks like we're going to consistently stay above that. And I'm going to have Carl jump in on any points that he thinks are interesting. He's sharing these same data pieces as well with our coaching program and empowering those agents to be able to be equipped with the right data.
I think I'll chime in a little bit on that one. So one of the biggest takeaways, if you guys watch the vision speech, right? For years, you've had so many people ask, when's the bubble going to pop? Do we have another bubble? Are we creating that? And there's been so many debates back and forth. Is there a bubble? Is there anything that's happening? The general consensus and the best part, that I think one of my favorite things Gary Keller actually said was, do we have a bubble? Not quite yet. But his joke was, do we have someone chewing some bubble gum and forming a little bubble with their tongue and starting to blow? Yes. Finally, for the first time in the last slew of years where everything's just kind of gone crazy, 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 we officially have economists, CEOs, everybody's agreeing that we're now entering what we call, I would call it a danger zone, something where there's high inflation, where there's high market stats. And this right here shows that 2 years above the projected line where we recovered from a 20% fail back in 2009.
And Gary also pointed out that we could stay above this for another 3, 4, 5 years.
Just forming a bubble. Dan Merrill can make a huge bubble with bubble gum. If you guys have ever seen it, YouTube video, go check it out.
So home prices, here's the interesting thing is if we look at the actual appreciation of home prices, this is the highest since they started tracking these numbers, okay, over the last couple of years. So we're in kind of uncharted territory right now. And obviously we're, initially going into this year, we had Zillow, we had Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac, all these different individuals projecting where we were going to be at the end of the year. Have you seen what they've done with their projections?
They lost a lot of money on those projections.
They said, all bets off the table. We're raising this. Okay. So I think Zillow's initial projection was somewhere around 6%. They just changed it to 22%. So just be mindful and be aware that this is something that doesn't seem like it's going to slow down in the immediate cycle. Inventory. Now, here's one thing that I would like to shift in our vocabulary. How many of you have ever said, we don't have any inventory, right? Or there's not enough inventory. And one of the things that's interesting is if you look at the perspective of how many homes, and I'm going to show this data specifically here in Utah, how many homes were sold last year in February and January compared to this year. You want to know what the gap is? It's a couple hundred homes, 200. And we'll talk specifically about how Utah is seeing something very unique happen compared to the rest of the nation, right? Where we actually have a flood of demand, people moving from outside, migrating to Utah. And then we also have a lot of households, new households being created within the state. And that's causing what seems to be an inventory crisis, right? And so we have to look at, and Gary put it in a really good way, is we have to be the ones that provide a solution. We have to go and find and create inventory, right? And we'll talk a little bit about that as well. But historically low inventory, as you can see, the trend line we're dramatically under that.
Which I know you're getting to it, but I think Utah, Dean, we're averaging a half a month right now.
0.63.
A little bit more than half a month of inventory.
Yep.
Not bad.
Yep.
That's a fun one.
Mortgage rates. They're so expensive, aren't they?
Now, mortgage rates, this is where I really want to chime in. We had a really great discussion as a team yesterday for our group. If you guys didn't really watch what's been happening, if you guys aren't following closely what's happening with interest rates and the feds, This is an extremely powerful thing. We're talking about people being, where's my lenders? Raise your hand, lenders. Yes. Lenders, we're talking about people being qualified one day and then as of yesterday, not being qualified, right? We're talking about people that just put homes on the market. Wild Team, where are you? Somebody in Wild Team. Top number of offers on that Provo listing. How many was it? 27 offers. Those little guys didn't lock rates, unfortunately, when they wrote those 27 offers, and interest rates. Well, okay. Mortgage-backed securities took a hit of 72 basis points yesterday, guys. This morning, they were starting to look beautiful. We were starting to balance. We were going all the way up to 23, and then it dropped back down. And now we're only at 8 basis points improvement for mortgage-backed securities. What this means is when the Fed came out and said, we're going to make 3 interest hikes throughout this year of 2022 to try to combat inflation. We learned through our vision speech, the number one enemy of democracy is what?
Inflation.
Inflation. How do we combat inflation? Slow the real estate market down. We make up trillions of dollars. How many people are not in the real estate, like a real estate agent in this room? You work in another thing. Lenders, inspectors, home warranty. Where are you guys hiding? We're talking 20, 30 people at least are making their entire livelihoods off of house selling. Let's not even begin to talk about if it's a new build. You're talking about hundreds of families. Okay. When we talk about 3 different interest rate hikes, and then the Feds come out and announce that, no, we're actually going to do 7. And our goal by July was to have 100 basis points, raised by 100 basis points. But then yesterday, randomly out of the blue, we get a 72 basis points hit. Today, the Fed meets and begins talking for the next 2 days. By about 2 o'clock, sorry, it's tomorrow, right? Tomorrow, about 2 o'clock, we should hear a result of what they're deciding, what's talking about it. But these are the things when you have people over this weekend that wrote offers, they were qualified at 500, just off of yesterday's hit, we're talking 475. Massive debt to income can't change. Income can't change. If the house prices stay high and then rates go higher, this is where people can't afford that same thing. I'm yakking too much. Take your time.
Good. Yeah. And I mean, the big thing on this too is we have to understand what's caused this, right? So last year we saw an overinflation into the economy. Now they're trying to correct that. They're pumping the brakes on it pretty hard. And so if you actually, in our market, we have to be aware of how that impacts affordability. This is a big, big key for your clients. And we're going to go and look at this in a few different ways. But one of the things to understand is that the price plus the cost of the money is what equals affordability. Okay. So what have people been saying about, as far as buyers go, what have they been saying about our market? Prices are too high, right? That it's too expensive. But what we have to do is be able to help educate them that the cost of money is actually historically super cheap. Like, look at this time. I'm so glad I was not selling real estate in the 80s.
Where you at,
Dean? 16% interest rate. Okay. Have that kind of conversation with your clients.
Go ahead. Devin, did you have a question?
Yeah, to go back to the affordability one, that correlates real nicely with the high interest rates. So obviously, as interest rates are going to go up,
For sure.
more affordable, your sellers aren't going to be happy, but you'll be able to get some of your buyers.
Yep.
And can I chime in for a second? Because today, a lot of the news reports, we actually did a lot of data studies on rentals. So people that aren't able to afford homes, we're also talking about rents, right? Here's a fascinating stat that we've learned. Rentals are projected, they're now doing a study, roughly, we're about 12% higher this year. When we're talking about new rentals hitting the market, because people are buying at an elevated price, they're projecting it's probably about a 17, 18% higher than usual. And then your rental renewals are actually coming in 8 to 10% higher. Guys, 10% higher. Renewing a lease and adding on an extra $130 a month to your monthly payments. These are things as real estate agents, watch this with your clients, help them understand it, but even more so, you have investors out there. Help your investors educate and understand that they need to know exactly where things are trending right now with common rents in the area. So it's a fun piece, right? Is that multiple things are being hit with the affordability.
Yeah. And be aware of this as well, that your clients are buying, they're buying the monthly payment, not the price of the home. right? And so you have to be able to articulate that and help them understand the actual cost on a monthly basis, because that's also what the lenders are looking at, right? Their debt to income ratio. And so be able to do that on your own. Now, one of the things to be aware of is that we're far below, we're still in a healthy kind of frame right now around affordability. Who's the actual class that homes are actually unaffordable for right now, or becoming more unaffordable for? First-time home buyers, right? And so you have to be aware of that and be strategic in helping those specific clients. But when you're educating sellers, I love having this conversation with my clients that are listing a home, where they say, well, if I sell my home, where am I going to go? They're the ones that have options. We have to help them understand the people like you are the ones that are actually winning offers right now, that have equity that they can roll into the next home. And so I'm going to help you guys understand how to be able to negotiate and get the best deal possible, but also use your equity strategically to get you into the next home. It's the first-time home buyers that are having an issue and they're getting beat up, right? So with that, here are 5 different pieces that you need to study consistently, okay? The GDP of the US, unemployment, real wages, income by sector, and inflation. We are going to speed through some of these, but you can go back and do some homework on them. So first off, GDP, we're obviously at a record-breaking economy in the US, which is a huge bounce back from what happened in 2020. Okay, so GDP is based off of the movement of sales and services and goods. Okay, and so the economy's been hot for the last year. Unemployment is still relatively low. Okay, that's a big factor as well. And I'll speak specifically to Utah. We actually have one of the lowest unemployment rates in the US. Okay, so that's a big key. But this is on a national scale. Inflation. Let's talk about this one. So this is interesting. As Carl pointed out, Gary said that the biggest threat to democracy is this. It's inflation. And we're seeing we've already broke the record, right, of the highest inflationary period since they've been tracking this, okay? And right now we're actually, this is old data already from
They
Family
didn't take
Union.
into consideration gas prices last week, did they?
Nope, they did not. So the core CPI is what takes out both energy and food. So gas is not included in that. Obviously, if we take that into account over the last month and what's happened, that's going to be a whole different number that this is computing. Super interesting. And then this is actually the forecast. Now, obviously, we want to stay, a healthy inflation rate is 2%. Okay. A super unhealthy inflation rate is 5%. So where are we? We're beyond that. Okay. That's where you're seeing now the Fed make these massive adjustments. And a lot of it is going to hit, number one, mortgages. Mortgage rates are going to be hit by that pretty hard this year. That's their governor to inflation. But this is also one thing to think about and look at. We are going to share this as just a JPEG, so you can share this on social media. This is looking at affordability of different items over time. So they started this back in 1989, and then fast forward to 2021. Now they're taking into account on this third line here an adjustment for a 4% appreciation that should happen in those different areas. Okay, so if you look at the price of cars based on the $15,000 price tag in 1989, it should be $35,000 today. But where is it at? 46. Okay, so it actually is 30%. This is not a dollar sign; it should be percentage. 30% higher than it should be right now. Same thing if you look at gas, and this is again outdated as of this month because of the shifts that have taken place. So this number, though, 56% increase in what gas prices should actually be. They should be somewhere around $2.25. I know in California, they're paying like $7 to $8, which is crazy. Wages, same thing. One thing I want to point out, though, is on the house side. So on housing, 94,000 is what you could buy a home for back in '89. And now the national average should be 218, but it's 346. So that's a 56% or 58% increase. But again, what two factors play a role in affordability? payment, which is broken up into what? The price of the home and the cost of money. Okay. And so what we've got to look at is that it's actually affordability has not gone out of whack. That's the only one that's actually gone down in perspective. So this has not had that crazy amount of appreciation because of the cost of money has changed, has shifted since the 80s. Okay, we're not seeing post or above 10% interest rates like we did back then. So again, just remember when you're explaining this to your clients that you're explaining they're buying the monthly cost, not the price of the home, right? These are all different factors, again, also that we have to take into account. So these are other pieces that you can study. We did not include all of the slides in here, but we do have it in the full deck that you received on Facebook. This one's interesting as well. Who's had clients talk about foreclosures, saying that they're going to wait and scoop up foreclosures as they hit the market? I have a lot of my clients are investors, and so they initially say that, and then we help them understand there's not very many homes that are in this state of being underwater on equity, right? Most people have a lot of equity built up in their homes. We're not going to see the same kind of 2008 situation take place because, again, over the last, if anybody bought a home a year ago, they're probably sitting pretty nice. So even if there was a correction, they're not going to be completely underwater like it happened in 2008. This is the big key, new home starts, okay? So this is the average trend line since 2005, which, you know, last year was the first year that we've bounced above that and started, you know, the biggest challenge, especially here in Utah, is we're not keeping up with the demand, okay? Our supply creation is not fast enough. We don't have enough builders to support the amount of new people moving from Utah or the amount of new homes or new families being created here in Utah. So we've got people graduating college, getting married, and they're like, I'm ready to buy a home, right? And I think more than other states, we don't see people migrate out of state as much as other places. So a lot of people actually stay here and they don't switch up. And so we're seeing that hit our housing market, where it's putting a huge you know, issue on our demand for homes. So I want to get through a few of these points. These are key to understand. Is buyer interviews. Buyers went with the first or second agent they met. Speed to lead. It's how quickly you are engaging with people in this market. And this is the same for the sellers. So I'm not going to show that slide. It's the same thing. Usually the first person that talks to them is going to get the transaction. Okay. So you've got to be in heavy contact and providing value to people in your sphere. We're going to jump forward to Utah. So what's unique about Utah? Number one, we are ranked number one out of all states as far as our economy. Okay. Now this is not nothing new. This has been since early 2000s. Okay, so this has been almost 20 years. And there's a couple different factors that play a role in that. If you actually go and here are a few different things. So our strong economy, employment growth, tech industry, the diverse economy, we actually are ranked as having the most diverse economy in the nation. So we're not just heavy in tech. We're not just heavy in the industrial space. We actually have a few different sectors that are supporting our economy consistently. And that's what keeps Utah in a really healthy place. Lifestyle, flexible government regulations, which are bringing companies, you know, Facebook, Amazon, you have all these companies migrating here because the policies are actually supporting big business and small businesses here in Utah. The overall ranking, so we're number 3. This is interesting. This is based off of these 8 categories. We are ranked in the top 10 for 5 different categories of the 8 nationwide. And so when you look at the macro scale, it's like there's a reason why you see a mass amount of people who are moving from out of state to Utah. And then this is just showing specifically, which is kind of interesting, appreciation here in Utah. So this is outside of those national stats, where last quarter, and this is end of 2021, so they don't have data yet for this quarter, but they were seeing 7%. Average annual rate was 34% for that quarter, which is crazy. And these are, again, this is Utah specific, but we, compared to America, 10 is the highest ranking you can get. And we do okay in those rankings, okay? But since 2000, 192% in appreciation. And then lastly, these are stats that Dean sends out every Friday as part of his email newsletter. So pay attention to the stats because he sends those out every Friday. And capture that data, use that to educate your clients. And some interesting perspective, our months of inventory for Utah is still less than a month of supply, okay? And that is where we're seeing the big kind of squeeze in our market is the velocity of how quickly homes sell when they're on the market, okay? That's what's so different than ever before. Yeah. Yeah, so, and just to know, we do have two slides. So this one shows the average, or sorry, the median days on market. This one is showing the average days on market. So the average days is going to be taking out, taking all of the inventory, right? And then dividing it by the amount of inventory on the market. Whereas the median is going to find the middle number of all of the listings. Is that right, Dean?
Now, I want to just chime in. We're already over, so I'll go fast. When we talk about rates, things are going on. We're not trying to have any doomsday. When we listen to the vision speech, and I really do recommend you go listen to it again, you leave with actually quite a good sense that we're in good hands right now. We've got some really great things going on, especially in Utah. These numbers are extremely impressive with how our economy ranks, how we are, our job growth, what we have. Agents, even if you're brand new to the business, it's not a terrible career to be in at all. You're sitting pretty well right now. We're just talking about tweaks with this data that you need to make to your everyday career to be able to work with sellers and get the best buyer under contract with your seller, and with your buyer, be able to learn how to leverage better with your lenders, how to combat these rate changes and these pieces that are affecting us regularly. So I guess that's my final chime.
Yeah.
I'll let you.
Absolutely. I think so. Another gift card to the fastest person that can read this next slide. Okay. Shout it out loud. There we go. It's Al Ford. Got it.
Crushed it.
Have you seen this before? Okay, interesting. Who else saw that pretty quick? Okay. I just want to, last thing is leave you on this, is that our ability to adapt, it's built into our DNA. Okay, it's natural. So the market is shifting, and all that means is that you have to change the approach to this new market. So people are going to make millions in this market. Okay, people are going to do really well in the real estate industry. You just have to decide if you're going to adapt with the market. You've got to change the way that you have conversations around what's happening in real estate so that your clients are properly educated so they can, again, move forward more intelligently with their decisions. Okay. So thank you all for coming. Use this Mastermind, have a conversation with people around it during lunch, and we appreciate you. Have a great day.